Hi everyone, welcome to Soul Strength Tarot. We're going to do the Mercury Retrograde videos for each sign. Mercury Retrograde is happening from February 17th to March 9th. My advice to you when you watch your video is to take notes, okay? Write down what comes through. One of the main cards that we're going to pull and then we're going to be talking about in your reading will be an archetype card. An archetype is a way of thinking. It is a pattern of thoughts, patterns of behavior, motivations that you apply in your everyday life. When I pull this card, the intention is that this is going to be something that serves you over the next 3 weeks as you move through whatever the events are that will unfold for you. Everyday events unfold in our lives, right? But this particular archetype is going to be a source of power for you. It's going to be something that makes your 3 weeks go smoother. It's going to be the type of energy that is going to grow you the most and the fastest in these 3 weeks. So Spirit will deliver whatever it is that you need to have in mind. So you're going to want to write that down. I'm going to pull some higher wisdom cards from the Rebecca Campbell decks. All right, so we have the Starseed deck and the Lightworker deck. And then we're going to be pulling tarot to get more specific themes. We're going to pull some angel messages and maybe a prayer card as well. We'll see what comes up. In each reading, it might be a little bit different because I do this based on one circumstance at a time. So we'll see what comes up, but you're going to want to take notes because the really cool thing, and it's something that I do in my own tarot practice, is that I write down what comes up in a reading. And then over the next 3 weeks, you're going to look at what you wrote down. You're going to, even just if you start each morning off, looking at what you wrote down, kind of have it fresh in your head so that as the day unfolds, you have these energies like ready to be used when necessary, right? Or when something shows up, when a situation arises, somebody says something to you, you kind of know, okay, this kind of goes with the themes this week. I'll embrace it, right? And you're going to operate from a higher perspective and a higher sense of self. And then when those 3 weeks are over, look back again at your notes and you'll really be able to actually pinpoint the situations and relationships that brought these moments in the cards to life in your everyday life. And it's really awesome to see how it shows up. It always shows up. So I think you'll have a lot of fun with that. So I invite you to take that opportunity to take notes as you listen to your reading. And I wish you a wonderful retrograde season with lots of growth, lots of good stuff. And it's nothing to be thinking of negatively, right? We hear Mercury retrograde and people tend to be like, oh my gosh, everything goes wonky. And in reality, that's not what retrograde is at all. It's really a time for us to go over some lessons that we need to go over because we're all learning all the time and none of us are getting it right all the time. And not only that, but as we evolve, we're going to revisit lessons that we've already been met with, challenges that we've already experienced, and we're going to now handle them from a higher version of ourselves, right? We're going to have more wisdom to apply. So Mercury retrograde is always kind of an opportunity to tie up loose ends, to revisit things that need your attention, and so apply the highest version of yourself to some old situations or old challenges that have come up for you in the past. So it's actually an awesome opportunity. So I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for watching. Hi Virgo. We'll get started by pulling your archetype card. We'll see what energy you are working with for this Mercury retrograde. I am a Virgo moon, so this reading is going to fit me as well. You can always watch your moon and your rising signs as well because all three, your sun, your moon, and your rising will have to do with what you're going through, okay? So with this Mercury retrograde, we know this is a time where we can really step into our power, we can evolve, but we have to choose to evolve. We have to be open to the messages that come through. We have to be humble. We need to allow Spirit to deliver the messages that we really need. And sometimes when the messages come through, they're not what we're expecting. They're not necessarily something that we are cognizant of in our everyday life right now, right? So Spirit might deliver a message that you're like, I don't know, like that was totally not on my mind. That's not something I'm even like concerned with or even thinking of right now, right? This is why I say take notes. Because no matter what comes through, your astrology is your life. You are living your astrology every single day. And we are, what happens without happens within. So Mercury in the sky is Mercury retrograde in our hearts and in our souls, okay? So write down notes of what comes through. The coolest part is when you can look back at your notes and say, oh my gosh, here is how that showed up, okay? So while this is a general reading and I talk about all different sorts of possibilities, it'll be very specific. Hindsight is always 20/20. So write down the energies and see how it all plays out for you. Have an open heart and an open mind. So here is the archetype card that flew out for you. So Virgo, we're working with the goddess energy. Beautiful. The feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality. The shadow side of the goddess archetype is exploitation of the female nature and form. So we want to honor our divine feminine for those of us that are females watching this video. And, you know, honor others, the divine feminine in others, okay? So that's really important. I'm going to pull 2 archetype cards because one flew out and I always like to actually pull. All right, so we're also getting the bully archetype, which is really interesting. I don't know if you're anything like me, but this came up for the Cancer reading, and I'm also a Cancer. I'm a Cancer rising. So here, you know, there's no such thing as coincidence, right? This is synchronicity. So the bully archetype, this is in a good way. When we access our bully energy, we can use the bully archetype to overcome fears, to smash limiting beliefs that we have about ourselves, to break through barriers, to not allow things to hold us back. On the shadow side, a bully obviously uses intimidation and fear to control and could be abusive, okay? So we have 2 interesting dynamics at play. We have the goddess, which is divine feminine. A goddess is nurturing. A goddess is, you know, fertility. A goddess represents creation, okay? But then we also have that bully energy. So we're going to pull some more cards now and see how these 2 relate to each other and how they're going to show up over the next 3 to 6 weeks. I say 6 weeks because although Mercury is in retrograde for 3 weeks, there is a post-Mercury retrograde period where the energy is going to be integrated into our systems on an individual level, okay? So what happens during this Mercury retrograde period? We have life situations. We're working through the energy. We are confronted with things. We're confronted with themes, with beliefs, with the way that we're, you know, how our perceptions shape our everyday life. And as we work through it, we then have that 2-week period afterwards where we have to kind of acclimate to what we just went through. Some retrogrades feel intense and, you know, and some don't. It really depends on the individual person. This is a Pisces and Aquarius retrograde, so it is going to affect where Pisces and Aquarius fall in our individual charts. All right. So it is different for all of us, but we'll get some more info here. So the golden children, the inner child, tenderness, innocence, rare gifts. Okay, what a beautiful card. I'm just going to show this to you. The golden children, and you could see that this card has this doorway, this portal, and it's like the sun is behind it, and you see these golden beings walking towards it. And it says inner child, tenderness, innocence, and rare gifts. This is a beautiful message to Virgo. Okay, this is about honoring who you are, this divine being that you are, the energy, the beautiful energy that you bring to the planet, and truly treating yourself inside, mentally, emotionally, physically, with respect and with love and with reverence, okay? Honoring the divine child within. So we're going to see what else comes up. That's very interesting. So that bully archetype, when I think about that, this is related to this inner child, right? We all have this inner child. We have the young soul that we started off with as a child, and now we're the adult version. But if you think back to who you were as a child, you can probably tap into the emotions that you experienced and the thoughts, the way that you thought about yourself and what you struggled with. What maybe if it was confidence or fitting in, belonging, maybe it was love, it was worth. It depends on who you were raised by and how you were raised. But your inner child always deserves to be loved because he or she still exists, okay? So if we are using a bully energy against ourselves, if any of you, and Virgos, I can speak to this. We really work hard. We hold ourselves to a high standard of accountability, right? We seek to be the best at the things that we're passionate about. We seek to do the right thing. I think Virgos are kind of an intense mental sign in terms of mental energy, right? Always up in our heads. So where the bully archetype comes in for me that I think is possible is that some of us, maybe those of you watching, judge yourself harshly. Hold yourself to a high standard. You're up in your head like, that's not good enough. I could do better. I should have done better. Maybe there's just a lot of negative mind chatter happening. And spirit is coming through like no, shh, stop that, okay? Because you actually are doing a great job, right? This tenderness and innocence and rare gifts is really about honoring our heart and our soul. And then this goddess archetype coming through, right? Just really, again, that sense of honor, like really, truly be reverent over your journey and who you are and what you've been able to accomplish and what you've been able to overcome. Treat yourself with love and respect from the inside out. Wow, look at this. So Virgos, big messages coming through. The age of light. You've been training for this for lifetimes. That is so powerful. I'm a little overwhelmed by the message because, like I said, I'm a Virgo moon and I experienced Mercury retrograde like everybody else. And today happened to be a little bit of a tough day for me emotionally, making me question some things about my own journey and my efforts, and do my efforts equal like the payout? Am I seeing the payout of my efforts? Does any, like really kind of questioning, am I on the right track or am I doing some certain things wrong? Like, am I like focused on the wrong aspects of life, right? But here we have these two messages coming through. So one is about honoring the rare gifts that we have, okay? And then the second one is you've been training for this for lifetimes. This is total validation. Whatever you are focusing on, whatever you are going through, if you have any self-doubt, just shut that voice down, okay? If that self-doubt bully is coming through and making you question yourself and making you think that you're not good enough or you can't do it, you can't achieve your goals, you can't follow what's on your heart, or that there's something wrong with you, if people, if you are atypical, if what is on your heart other people can't relate to, do not listen, okay? You have to tap into that divine goddess energy, that Sophia wisdom, okay? And understand that like this is a mission that we're on, all right? We're all on soul missions. Every human being on this planet is on a mission. And everybody's mission is unique. Every soul has brought something different to this planet, and their energy impacts the planet as a whole. We are part of a whole. And there is not one aspect of you that needs to change. There is not one thing that is wrong with you. There is nothing that needs to be fixed, okay? You've been training for this for lifetimes. Whatever the challenge is for you guys, I mean, I know what my challenges are, but whatever shows up for you guys in terms of the challenges and the feelings of, right? Like life is not easy. You got this. We've got this, okay? Spirit's delivering some really intense messages here, really heavy, really beautiful validation and support. So for whoever is watching this, I hope it makes you feel just really validated, right? We need that as souls, I think. I know I do. I love when Spirit gives me cards like this because it is just a relief. It's like this sense of, okay, I could relax and put my shoulders down a little bit because I have what it takes to get through whatever the challenges are up ahead. I can overcome them, right? Because we've been training for this for lifetimes. We have lifetimes of skills and wisdom. I always say it's like we have that invisible backpack that we carry around with us. And it's like we just pull from it and apply it to situations in our life. We have every tool we need in that backpack to achieve our mission and to share and spread our light, because that's what this is about. This is about being a light worker, Virgo. This is about being your authentic self, because your vibration, your light, the words that you speak, the joy that you bring to the people in your life, the love that you have for the people in your life, they need you. The world needs you. And there is just no doubt that you have quite an important purpose in whatever is on your heart. So do not allow any bullies If they are outside bullies, if they're not a mindset for you internally, but if they are on the outside, probably could be a little bit of both. Don't allow those bullies to intimidate you. Don't allow them to make you feel like you need to go off course or change direction. Don't allow them to instill any self-doubt in you, because you are absolutely following your soul's calling in whatever that is for you, okay? And for all of us, it's different. I have a good friend who's a Virgo, and I can imagine this reading right now and what that means for her, because I know what's on her heart. And while we both have different passions, I'm going to tell her to watch this video, because I feel like she's going to watch this and go, oh my gosh, that's so where I'm at, right? It's different for each of us. It's wrapped up in different packages, but the emotions and the spiritual evolution of it, I think, is super similar, okay? So we are getting some tarot now on this. All right, so we are getting the Page of Wands in reverse, okay? New beginning, not quite there yet, all right? We're getting the Five of Coins, having all that you need. We're getting the Eight of Cups, walking away in a new direction, okay? There's going to be a change coming up. There's going to be something that is shifting, okay? Something in relation to your soul's calling. So whatever it is that you do, whatever it is that you are passionate about, it does not have to be your job or your career. It could be something that you speak about, that you look into, that you discuss with other people. It could be something that you create. Whatever it is, it doesn't make a difference as long as it's from your heart. You're doing the right thing. As long as it lifts you up, it's a passion of yours. It's something you believe in fully, because this Page of Wands are passion energy. This is something that comes from your heart space. This is fire energy, okay? Now this Page of Wands, he is a new beginning. You can see those dragons flying around him. He's a powerful energy, but he's in the reverse position right now. So it's this feeling of, I'm not quite at that place where I want to be yet. I'm not quite like taking the first step in this direction that I want to go in. Something's holding back, okay? There's a feeling of maybe being a little bit stuck, a little bit held back, okay? When we're getting the Five of Coins and the Eight of Cups coming through, this is about having what you need to move forward, okay? Eight of Cups is leaving something behind. Eight of Cups shows up when there is an ending, okay? There is something that is going, there is a union, there's an agreement, there is a contract that is coming to a close. This Two of Cups reversed, Two of Cups is a union card. In the reverse position, it's not going to mean the same thing, okay? There's going to be an ending to something, an ending to a certain type of a relationship, okay? You're going to be heading in a new direction. This Mercury retrograde is stirring something up. I believe what it is going to confront us to stand in our power and believe in our hearts and what we're called to do, believe in who we are, truly dig deep into our own personal power of self-belief, big time, okay? It might call for a decision to be made and heading in a different direction. And if we are not really sure what that means and it doesn't show up in an obvious way, it might, if like, let's say a job ends, okay, or there's some type of relationship, friendship, that there's something rocky and there's a break in the connection, okay? There's going to be an ending to some type of a connection. I believe that it's something that might be related to a job, because of the Coins energy and the Justice coming through. We also have this reverse Justice card coming through. All right, so there's definitely some change up in energy happening here. And it's not here yet, okay? But it's coming for a reason. The Eight of Cups is walking into a bright future, okay? Leaving those cups behind, but walking into that sunlight, walking into that golden sunrise. That's going to be a beautiful change when we get to it, all right? But look in the new direction. Do not look in this direction, okay? Do not look at the bully. Do not give attention to the bully, whether those are thoughts in your own mind or words coming at you from somebody else. No, you don't have time for it. We don't have time for it, right? We're not going to be abused. We're not going to be bullied. We're not going to be intimidated, because we operate with the divine goddess energy. We're untouchable, okay? Because we are working with spirit. We have lived many, many, many lifetimes. We are wise, strong souls. We have whatever is ahead. We can navigate it, and we don't need any negativity in our life, okay? We are ending with the sun. It is in reverse. So I do feel like right now, because it's not an upright sun, we don't have the illumination that we'd really want. We don't have the vision that's clear of what's coming up ahead, okay? But something new is coming, and it is going to be a blessing. It's going to be a move and a shift into something that brings us immense joy. It's going to bring us into balance. It's going to bring us what we want in every way in terms of emotional needs, physical needs, financial needs, right? Like everything will be in place. But we're not quite there yet, okay? So right now, Mercury retrograde season is calling for us to stay strong. It's definitely calling for us to honor who we are, not allow any doubts to creep in, okay? I'm going to pull a few more tarot cards on this. But it's a beautiful shift to me. And while things are not 100% clear or 100% here yet, it's just so much beautiful validation of the strength that we have within us. And that what needs to go is going to go, and that's okay, and we're going to be okay with that, okay? Whatever needs to end, whatever in the next 3 to 6 weeks comes to an end or a disconnect happens along the way, we're going to allow it because on an energetic level it needs to happen. Because, you know, that 8 of Cups energy, that moving on through that doorway into something new, that can't happen if we're clinging to something old, okay? So I'm just going to show this to you before I show you the new tarot cards. We can't walk forward through that door into the new thing if we are clinging to what's familiar, okay? So that's why this has to be let go of. This representation here has to, it has to come to an end, and we're going to have to surrender to that, even if we don't expect it, even if we don't necessarily agree with it. You got to trust the way things roll out, okay? There's a divine alignment happening for us, all right? All right, so we are getting the 2, the High Priestess. There's that intuition, all right? There is, you know, that moon. And here's the thing about the moon. The moon is mystery. The moon is a lack of clarity. It is not knowing what's coming up ahead. But, you know, I always think with this card, that baby is like a green, it's like wrapped in green. That's like a heart chakra representation of something new, a new birth. There, that High Priestess is accessing the book of divine wisdom. This is just an absolutely divinely aligned moment for us to upgrade and step into a more powerful version of ourselves. And then we're getting the 6 and the 7 of Pentacles coming through. This is focused attention, right? So it's that abundance, it's having what you need, it's focusing and growing what we are growing, right? We have been training for this for lifetimes. Whatever our gifts are, whatever we are creating in this world, the energies that we are creating on this planet right now with just us being us, that's all it takes. It doesn't take a career, doesn't take a title, doesn't take an income. It just takes each one of us being our authentic selves. We're making a ripple, right? When you throw a rock into a pond and you see the ripples of the water, that's when we are just true to ourselves. We are creating ripples in the energy on a global scale. Do not underestimate your own power. So we are working towards something, okay? We are each growing and cultivating. I mean, you can even see she's watering, right? I love this. She's watering this plant that looks like trees. Interesting leaves, by the way. I don't know what artist created this deck, but I feel like they have a sense of humor. It just looks like pot leaves to me, but whatever. She's also watering selenite growing at the base of this. But that's selenite, right? Selenite is a crystal that represents cleansing, okay? This is like, I am growing an energy. I am putting an energy out into the world that is a cleansing energy. It is a healing energy. Selenite is referred to as liquid light. And I love that she has her dog next to her, just laying there sleeping, like her sidekick. That reminds me so much. Like, my dog is with me all the time. If I could bring him to work with me, I would. Like, I love having my dog with me. So there is, the way is being provided, okay? All we have to do is stay strong. Do not fall into the bully mentality. Do not self-doubt. Do not negative mind chatter ourselves. No self-judgment. Instead, we are going to honor ourselves. We're going to forgive ourselves when we need it. We're going to offer ourselves compassion, because that inner child is in here and needs love. He or she needs love. So we are going to honor the gifts that are on our heart. Whether it is understood by people in our lives or not doesn't make a difference. We're going to honor the divine feminine creative ability that we have. Everybody has that. It's not about gender. Whether you're a male or a female doesn't make a difference. The divine feminine is the aspect of our soul that is here to create and to put forth. And we've been training for this for lifetimes. Like, this is just like my favorite card in this whole thing, right? Here, if we just take a look at this High Priestess card and this idea, we've been training for this for lifetimes. And there she is, right? Like, with her book of like all that wisdom, right? Like, that would be in our invisible backpack that we've accumulated, all the lessons, all the wisdom. And we're putting forth this green heart chakra energy into the world, this new baby. Who is our new baby? What is our new baby? What is our impact on this planet? Just by following our heart and honoring who we are. So this is a beautiful reading. I'm grateful for this reading because this pertains to me as well. I hope that you feel grateful for these messages, and I hope they validate you and they empower you to, and if you wrote this down, if you took notes, like, refer back. If there is an imbalance in a relationship, if there is the need for you to walk away from something or to end something in any form. This doesn't have to be romantic. This could be any type of connection that you have. Trust that you are doing the right thing, okay? If your heart is telling you something isn't right with this and this just isn't for me anymore, or I'm not going to accept this treatment, like, let's say that bully energy is coming through with an imbalance of how you're being treated. If there's somebody in your life that is not respectful of you, that is not seeing you for who you are and honoring who you are fully, then, Spirit is letting you know that, like, that's done. You don't have to accept that treatment anymore because you have big things coming up ahead. Okay, there's going to be illumination. There's going to be an understanding. When this is all over, we're going to have this deeper understanding of why. Okay, we don't have all the puzzle pieces. That's the thing about Mercury retrograde, is that it doesn't always all make sense, right? Like, we might have random things happening here and there in our daily life, random, challenges, relationship issues, communication moments. We have these random things, but then in the end, hindsight is 2020. Everything goes together like a puzzle. We Virgos have to trust that this puzzle will come together. In the meantime, love yourself. Trust yourself, okay? Honor yourself. Stand true to yourself. Don't accept any garbage treatment. And I hope you have a beautiful Mercury retrograde season, and that these new energies lift you up, empower you, and just boost you straight up to the new, upgraded, awesome version of yourself. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you all the best. If you like this content, please hit subscribe, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.